So what I want to do is I want to read to you a little bit of my book, specifically this chapter titled Blame Effectively. All right, Blame Effectively. There was a scene in a documentary I watched recently covering Tony Robbins' event, Date with Destiny. And in it, he was coaching one of his audience members through an emotional struggle she was having with her father. Tony goes on to explain how important it is to look at where we came from and the events that shaped us, good or bad, and blame these people and events effectively. He says, if you're going to blame people for all the shit, you better blame them for all the good too. If you're going to give them credit for everything that's fucked up, then you have to give them credit for everything that's great. These words sent chills down my spine. Then, Tony says this line that penetrated my soul, and judging by the tears of the grown men in the audience, I think it's safe to say that this struck a chord with many. If we can realize that life is always happening for us, not to us, game over. All of the pain and suffering disappears. When I heard this, my perspective of everything shifted. If I hadn't felt guilt and shame for so many years, I wouldn't have developed such empathy for others' pain. If I hadn't felt desperate for approval and external validation, I would have never auditioned for The Bachelor. If I hadn't been sent home on night one after also being embarrassed on national television, I wouldn't have been so disappointed that I broke down. If I hadn't self-destructed due to this breakdown, I wouldn't have been forced to surrender my power and look for help. If I hadn't surrendered and had my ego shattered, I would have never began this journey of healing and discovering my true self. If I hadn't been broken open, I would have never had a breakthrough. Without every ounce of pain I have ever felt, I wouldn't be the woman I am proud to be today. You don't have to be proud of who you are today, but if you look closely enough, you'll see that your struggles have gifted you with strength, and your pain has fueled you with empathy, compassion, and possibly purpose. When we imagine that life is happening for us, not to us, we are given the opportunity to have a shift in perspective. We are given the opportunity to view our life as a gift instead of a burden, and ourselves as victors instead of victims. It's not that everything happens for a reason, but I do believe there can be a reason found for nearly everything happening. The message here is that you get to choose how you look at your life. Tony's message is, yeah, you can keep your victimhood, but that doesn't serve you. And you can look back on your life and blame everybody and everything negatively, but you can also look back and blame it all effectively. You can blame it for giving you strength. And my invitation to you right now during this time, regardless of how it's affecting you, is to imagine that this is happening for you and that somehow you're going to find gifts on the other side. Not sure when, not sure what or how, but imagine just for a moment that that's true. So that's my invitation to you today, and it's a very subtle shift, but it's a very powerful shift. And if you'd like to take that further, please watch Tony Robbins' documentary, I Am Not Your Guru, on Netflix today. Like, go right now. If you have nothing else to do, go put it on the TV right now after this video is done. Otherwise, maybe watch it tonight, be present for it, take notes if you want to, post about it, share about it, let it move you. Commit to watching the first minute and a half, and I promise you will be hooked. So, I love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful Friday.